What is going on, YouTube world? I'm your brother Reza. This is KRT Life, KRT Life with the Y, and this is a running shoe update. Wow, it's been a long time. Boom, so these are my running shoes. It's been a while since I've given y'all an update on what I'm running in and talked about running shoes and running trainers. As everybody probably knows, I had a massive issue with Pegasus, these Nike Pegasus. They have some serious durability issues that I talked about in two previous videos. This one right here that I kept is the actual Pegasus 35. And I tried to replace them with a pair of Pegasus 36s. And those 36s broke before I could even really break them in. The front end, the toe box, just started to split prematurely. I mean, I literally probably had maybe 30 miles on those shoes and the toe box started to rip. Now, this is the Pegasus 35 that I spent a good part of last year running in and some of this year as well. And you can see that the toe box on here has actually fully failed. And I can probably get my pinky or my index finger all the way through there. And you can actually really see that this upper has failed. So these shoes are dead. These shoes are gone. And I have moved on. And what did I move on to? Well, I actually went backwards. I went backwards and I moved back to Adidas. And a lot of y'all that follow our channel might be wondering, well, why in the world would you go back to Adidas when you were just like throwing Adidas under the bus left and right last year? And the reason that I went back to Adidas is because of these right here, the Adidas NMD. Now, some of you keen-eyed running people would be like, wait a minute, that is not a running shoe. And I would agree with you because one of my friends that's a collegiate runner, that's pretty much what he says all the time. That ain't no running shoe. But I would differ. To me, this is one of the best running shoes I have put my foot in recent time. In fact, it is better than this right here. This is the Adidas, what is this thing called? Ultraboost 19. I recently acquired these because these were so darn good. And let me give you a little bit of background on this shoe. I've had these shoes longer than the Pegasus that I just threw on the ground. They have been with me on holiday. They have been with me on travel. I have actually ridden motorcycles with these shoes. Why you would do that, I don't know, but I did that. And I started running in these shoes because I didn't have anything else to run in when my, what are those things called over there? Pegasus failed. So I started running in them, and I was surprised at how good they were. That they were so good to me that they became a constant inclusion in my running cycling of my shoes because I try not to run the same shoes all the time. So these were like always in the rotation. And they got so good that I was just like, man, maybe I was a little bit too harsh on Adidas. Well, Adidas customer service still sucks, but it doesn't suck as bad as Nike's customer service. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, these shoes are extremely durable. Like I said, they've been on vacation, been doing all types of outdoor activities in them, and I've been running like crazy in them. These right here probably have, I would estimate, probably close to 200 miles on them right now. And then look at the sole. The sole is great. Look at the toe box. No rips in the toe box. These things are super comfortable, and they're just great running shoes for me. Now, my friend who's a professional collegiate runner and all these kind of things, he claims that this is the worst shoe a man can possibly run in, but I choose to differ. But these are so good, I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it moving with Adidas again and give them another go, even though I was very disappointed with a lot of their products. And I got this right here. This is the Adidas Ultraboost 19. And right now, this shoe right here, this very shoe actually, is on sale for $126 on the Adidas website. This shoe right here is so terrible. This shoe, oh my God. I've put about 40, maybe 50 miles on this shoe so far. And this thing is extremely uncomfortable, first of all. They feel very heavy. They feel somewhat clunky to me. But I bought them on the basis of durability because I didn't want to have another Nike Pegasus 36 or 35 situation where I spend $100-something on a shoe and then I got to go back to the shoe company and argue with them about them taking the shoe back. So I bought this because I was like, this feels like it would be a good, durable shoe that will last me at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But this shoe is extremely uncomfortable. And what is uncomfortable on this shoe for me is mostly the upper. This upper is so tight on the top of my foot, that when I take this shoe off, you can actually see this, I how would you describe this material? Canvas type burlap material. It leaves an imprint on the top of my foot, even through my socks. The only way I can make this shoe really comfortable is to pull this insole out, and that gives me a little bit more room in the actual shoe to make it fit a lot better. And it's a little bit more comfortable without the insole in it. But I don't want to go spend $126 or $180 on a shoe that I have to modify to get it to work for me. Like, I want a shoe that I should just be able to put on my feet and just work. So my overall impressions so far with the Boost 36, Boost 36, I'm just making up shoes. The Ultraboost 19 is that I love the way this shoe looks. And I have to admit, I'm a bit superficial when it comes to shoes. Like, I don't really run in Brooks. I don't run in Saucony's and stuff like that because, honestly, I just can't get past the way these shoes look. They are hideous. So I tend to stick with more of the mainstream manufacturers because of those type of reasons. But this one right here was so bad, and I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do to it or what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to sell it? Am I going to try to keep it? Am I going to turn it into just like a fashion sneaker? I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I've already put too many miles on it probably and had it too long to return it. But I'm kind of stuck with this shoe, I guess. But I will say this. The bottom, this Continental rubber, amazing. Like, this thing, like, for 50 something miles, like, of mixed use, looks really, really good. So what am I going to do now that I put all this money in this shoe and this shoe is trash and I still have these NMDs that are amazing? Should I buy another pair of NMDs? I'm not really 100% sure if I should or not because I don't know if this was a fluke. This is one of the first NMDs that was released and it is so good. Like, nothing's torn. The toes are amazing. The bottom is great. The upper is great. The insole that you can't remove is still in great condition. Outside from where I actually burnt this shoe when I was riding a motorcycle, like, again, why was I doing it? I don't know. But outside of that, these shoes are in perfect condition. So it's like I'm in this conundrum of should I buy another pair of NMDs or should I look towards something else? And those something else are several shoes. So one of my favorite shoes that were ever released was the New Balance Minimus 100 Street, I believe is the name of the shoe. And it was a very, very minimal shoe back when the minimal phase was going crazy. And it was very lightweight, very flexible, very breathable. Those shoes were amazing. Like, I literally put about 350, 400 miles on each pair. I had two pair on each of those. And they were amazing shoes, and I wore them to the ground, but then they got discontinued. And that's one thing I don't like about sneaker companies. They will make something amazing and awesome, and then they'll try to make it better, and it ends up getting worse. And then you got to find a new favorite sneaker. That's one of the worst parts of being a runner, I think. So the New Balance Minimus discontinued, and I don't buy New Balance anymore for different reasons. So New Balance is out of the question. So what else am I looking at? One company has not done this whole thing of making an amazing sneaker and then discontinuing the sneaker. Well, they're trying not to do that. They don't do it as much as other companies. And that company is a little known company named Innovate, and that's INOV with the 8. Now, I stumbled upon these shoes when I bought a used pair from a secondhand store in Atlanta, and these were some of the most phenomenal running shoes I've ever bought in my life. I got them for like $35. They were already used. And back then I was running marathons not marathons, but half marathons on a regular basis. So I would go out and put 13 miles on these shoes like almost every week, just in one go. And then I would do all my other runs on top of that. So I can't even tell you how many miles I put on these shoes. If I had to guesstimate, maybe 500 miles. But the Innovate model that I had was the Innovate F-Lite G230, or it might have been the 195. I'm not sure. But it was one of those, and they almost look exactly the same. And this shoe was a tank. I tell you, nothing on this shoe failed. Nothing on this shoe broke. It just went and went and went and went till the shoe is so nasty and so dirty. And I think eventually, you know what happened? I tripped on something. I tripped on like a tree stump or something, and it grabbed the upper of the shoe and it ripped it. That was the only thing that put those shoes out of commission. And after that, I did not get another pair because they're not really sold locally like that here. So I went and tried everything else, but now I'm seriously considering going back to Innovate and getting that F-Lite G230. There's another model that they have, though, that also has my eye, and it kind of, not my eye, my attention, and it kind of reminds me of the New Balance Minimus that I was telling you that came out back in the whole minimal foot shoe day or whatever. And in the height of that, this shoe came out, but this Innovate recently that was released kind of looks a lot like it. And it is the Innovate Bare XF 210 V2 Men's. This shoe reminds me a lot of the New Balance that I had back in the day during the whole minimum no shoe wearing craze. And I really, really am curious about trying this because even though that was a craze and a fad that a lot of runners went through, I actually did a lot of my best running pretty much injury free during that phase. And then eventually everybody abandoned the minimal sneakers and then everything went to foam. And I don't know how I'm feeling about this foam phase in sneakers. Like I love the NMDs, but I hate the Ultra Boost 19. Like I had really, really high expectations for the Ultra Boost 19, but it has literally disappointed me in every single way except for aesthetics. Looks awesome, heavy as hell, clunky, and feels like beep on your feet. And that's pretty much, I guess, my summary of where I am right now as far as this year goes, well, the end of this year goes in my running shoe conundrum. This is KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with a Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. If you're thinking about the Adidas Ultra Boost 19, I would say keep on looking. This shoe looks good on the foot. It's good to go to the mall in, but I would say skip it as a running shoe. All right, y'all, I'm about to go run. Peace.